Welcome back to the Foundry by Forge College. Today we're tackling a really crucial explainer for our establishing a testing pipeline module. We're looking at measuring coverage and automating the pipeline, because honestly, it's time to stop crossing your fingers and closing your eyes every time you deploy, right? Let's start actually proving your test quality with some automated pipelines. Let's dive in. In our previous lesson, Synthesis, from Foundations to Advanced Access Control, we used test doubles kind of like Hollywood stuntmen, right? They isolated our behaviors perfectly. Well, today, we are building the engineering blueprint for the actual set. We're setting up the cameras to make absolutely sure every single one of those code paths gets fully recorded. Because let's face it, your tests, they are really only as good as the code they actually touch. Okay, here is our game plan for building this testing assembly line today. Number 1, we'll look at 3 vital metrics. 2, capturing the data. 3, the 5-stage CI workflow. And 4, the Hardhat pipeline. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, 3 vital metrics. It's all about quantifying your quality. Think of these 3 metrics like a really high-end smart contract security system. So line coverage just shows your motion sensors are turned on, right? It tells you which lines of code actually executed. Then you have function coverage, which tells you exactly which rooms the intruder entered. But branch coverage, that is the big one. That proves the alarm actually rings when someone tries to break in through a super rare complex edge case window that your other sensors totally missed. For those truly critical modules, the ones actively guarding user funds, you're going to want to set a really strict boundary, like a 90% or even higher branch coverage threshold. And look, this isn't just some vanity metric so you can brag to your developer friends. It is a hard, automated rule to ensure you aren't playing roulette with your protocol's security. Moving right along to Section 2, capturing the data. Let's talk about instrumentation. So how do we actually gather all this coverage data? Well, the answer is instrumentation. You can think of it like a fitness tracker, but for your code. It's this highly precision sensor that quietly collects execution info while your tests are running, and then it maps all that invisible, under-the-hood runtime activity directly back to your actual source files. Now, in the Solidity ecosystem, tools generally pull this off in one of 2 ways. They'll either inject source-level probes directly into your compiled artifacts to emit little markers, or they'll use EVM tracing. EVM tracing is basically watching the opcodes, the raw machine instructions of Ethereum like an absolute hawk from the outside, and then mapping them back to your files. Either way, you get a perfect map of exactly what just happened. All right, Section 3, the 5-stage CI workflow. Time to automate this machinery. Here are the 5 stages of our pipeline. We start with local iteration, move to an instrumented run, then report generation, CI gating, and finally, artifact publication. And honestly, this workflow is basically anti-anxiety medication for Web3 developers. It just seamlessly takes your code from chaotic local testing into a strictly enforced, fully automated environment. Let's zoom in on stage 3 for a second, because CI gating is the absolute linchpin of this whole assembly line. The CI gate acts as a ruthless bouncer for your codebase. It will automatically fail the job if a pull request drops coverage below your designated threshold. It completely prevents anyone from merging code that degrades your overall test quality. Basically, no VIP access with the right coverage numbers. Which brings us to Section 4, the Hardhat pipeline. Let's get our hands dirty and implement this. First things first, you'll install a coverage tool via NPM, like the Solidity coverage plugin. Then you just add a quick Hardhat coverage script right into your project manifest. Run it locally, inspect that generated HTML report, and hunt down those unprotected branches before you embarrass yourself by opening a pull request. Oh, and remember those test doubles we built in our last lesson? This is exactly where you use them to target those really stubborn, hard-to-reach branches. Next up is the actual automation. You're going to construct a GitHub Actions YAML file. What this does is build a deterministic node environment. Basically, it creates a perfectly clean room that guarantees your instrumented tests run the exact same way, every single time, automatically verifying every proposed change to the code. Inside that workflow, using the npm CI command instead of a standard install is absolutely crucial. It strictly follows your log file, which permanently destroys the classic, "well, it works on my machine" excuse. Meanwhile, the upload artifact action guarantees that your security auditors have the actual tangible HTML reports attached right there on the build page. To finish off our alarm system, we add a custom script, like checkcoverage.js. It extracts the numeric coverage percentage from those artifacts, and if your coverage dips below your policy, it immediately fails the pipeline using a non-zero exit code. It's a completely automated, entirely unemotional guardrail that really doesn't care if you're in a rush to log off on a Friday afternoon. And finally, our conclusion. Let's look at the completed assembly line. I want to leave you with a bit of a reality check. Coverage metrics are amazing, but they will not magically fix flawed logic. They absolutely are not a substitute for careful design or formal verification. But as we've seen today, an automated pipeline acts as an incredibly effective quantitative guardrail against dangerous regressions. So here are your big takeaways. Always read your line, function, and branch metrics together so you get the full picture. Pin your tool versions and use lock files for totally reproducible CI runs. And lastly, automate your thresholds to enforce strict quality gates. Do this, and your test quality becomes measurable and ruthlessly repeatable. Which leads us to our final question for you. Are your quality gates actually ready to protect your next deployment? Or are you still just hoping for the best? Now that your automated pipeline is built, you are perfectly positioned to connect these gates to live deployments. Be sure to head over to forge.college to explore our other advanced Web3 learning programs and continue your Ethereum quests. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.